YouTube, welcome back. You might be wondering why I'm actually looking a little closer to my actual age today. It's because I'm not currently wearing any makeup. One of my viewers actually sort of requested that I kind of show my beauty routine, so here I am without anything on my face, and I'm gonna go and take everyone through what I do for getting ready in the morning and doing my my face and my makeup and everything. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Actually, the first thing I do is put my hair in a ponytail, put my hair out of the way. I already did that before, so, but then I moisten my face. I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so my face is now nicely moistened, and the first thing I do is I clean my face, and my favorite thing to clean my face with is this exfoliator that I got from Olay. It's the Olay Pro X or something like that. Oh, and by the way, everything that I'm using in this video is everything that I own, that I use every day. This is my stuff. No one has asked me, like no company has asked me to do this video. No one's sponsoring me, no one's paying for me, no one sent me any products. This is all my stuff. So just wanted everyone to know that ahead of time. So anyway, so I use this, and I don't use the Pro X cleanser that comes with it. Instead, I like to use the Olay Regenerist detoxifying pore scrub. I kind of like it. It kind of does the pore minimizing a little bit. I tend to have rather large pores, especially around my nose and in my T-zone a little bit, so I kind of like doing a little bit of a pore minimizing. So I'm going to go ahead and I put a dollop on there, and I'm going to make it wet, and then I'll do it on my face. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and cleanse my face. And if you notice me looking off to the side sometimes, it's because I'm looking at the mirror that's over there. And I try and just get everything nice and clean, especially around the nose and the T-zone. That's where I have most of my oil on my skin. And the chin down here. Sometimes I pull some hair into it. And I tend to use it at the maximum speed. It actually has 2 speeds, so you can hear the higher and lower speeds there. Anyway, that's pretty good. And then after I'm done, I take the brush head off and I give it a really good rinse. Get all the soap, everything else out of it. And then rinse my face. When I rinse my face, I tend to use lukewarm to cool water. And then I know a lot of people say just pat your face dry. Well, screw that. I scrub. I give it a good scrub because I figure the towel can also help with any additional exfoliating. And I feel like, well, it just dries my face faster too, so I don't have a lot of patience to just daub like a little lady. It's like, nah, just get that nice and scrubbed. Alright, so now my face is clean. Then what I do, instead of moisturizer, and I know this is going to start looking like an Olay commercial, I'm sorry, but I use the Olay Regenerist Serum. And I really like the way this feels on my face, and my face doesn't feel dry afterwards. And it really helps temporarily minimize the lines under my eyes. I am getting older, and I am getting those fine lines, and they're becoming less fine by the day, so get it down my neck a little bit. Alright, so that is sort of the cleansing, and it's not really moisturizing, but the main thing that I start doing before I start putting my makeup on. So the first thing I do with makeup, and now things are going to start looking like a Revlon commercial, is I use the Revlon Photo Ready Perfecting Primer. Started using this a few months ago, and this is actually a new bottle because I just ran out of my old one. And I really, really like the stuff. I like the way it feels, and I like the way my makeup lays on top of it. So I do about 2 pumps on my finger, and then I just sort of start working it into my face. Again, I don't do the little pat, pat, pats and all that kind of stuff that some gals on these makeup tutorials or whatever. This is not a tutorial anyway. This because heck, I'm not a guru. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. This is just what I do. Anyway, but I do like this stuff. I think it makes my face look smoother. It minimizes my pores a bit more. Helps with the lines a little bit as well. And just seems to be a really good primer as a base for the rest of my makeup. Alright, so the next thing I do obviously is foundation. And I'll do a clean sponge here. And I tend to use dry sponges. I know a lot of people say that you should use damp sponges, but I tend to prefer dry sponges. I know they absorb more, so I have to put more makeup in it, but it's just the way I do it. And then the foundation I've been using the most lately is the Maybelline Dream Fresh BB Cream. I kind of like it. It's not too sheer, but at the same time it's not too heavy. I don't know, I've been really liking it, and I like the fact that it's got SPF and everything in it. So put a nice dollop on there, close that up. So I do a dollop of about that size, and then just kind of spread it around. And yes, I put it on my eyelids too. I know not necessarily have to do that or supposed to do that, but I just like putting my foundation everywhere. I feel it blends, I get it blended better that way. Oh, and let's see, the color I'm using for this is the light to medium sheer tint. As it gets further into the winter, I might actually switch to the fair light tint instead. But I'm still using that, the darker tint because I still have a little bit, I don't really tan, but my skin does get a little bit of sun in the summer, and so it does get a touch darker. And I always try to work it down into my neck and kind of blend it in, because I don't like that line that ends here. I mean, I think I've got the right color, so I don't really have that line, but just in case, I'd like to blend it down into my neck anyway. Alright, so there's that. Now, the next thing I do is I've got my little makeup bag here, and I do my concealer and that kind of thing. So, let's see here. So I was using the Photo Ready Perfecting Primer, and now I'm using the Revlon Photo Ready Concealer, and you can see it's kind of all gunky because I use it a lot. This thing has lasted like forever too, which is cool. So I start here because I have this little blemish here that I like to conceal. And then my chin, even with the foundation, still gets a little red looking, so I tend to try and cover that up with a little bit heavier, so it looks a little less red. And then of course the main area I use it on is under my eyes, because I have these kind of dark puffy under eyes. And yes, I kind of put it on a little heavy and then blend it in. Especially right around the lash line, because I have deeper wrinkles there and sometimes it gets kind of stuck in there. Alright, so there's that. So the next thing I use is my Revlon. It's another Revlon Photo Ready product. I like a lot of the products from Revlon Photo Ready. This is the eye primer and brightener. And by the way, you notice I don't use the Photo Ready foundation. I really don't like the foundation from Photo Ready. It seems very sheer, like too sheer. It's almost like water going on my face, and it does feel like I'm not wearing anything, but it's just too sheer. It doesn't get any coverage whatsoever. So the BB cream is a little bit better on that. And so it's got this thing has a little brush. I'm gonna go ahead and I put a little bit on my eyelids first, and just kind of blend that in. And then, because it's an eye brightener, you can actually use it under your eyes as well, and so I use this on top of the concealer to kind of help a little bit more with my darker circles. I don't know how well this works, but I don't know. I think it works decently well. I mean, it still doesn't make me look like I'm 20, but that's okay. There's no need for me to look like I'm 20 anymore. I'll settle for 30. Or even 35. So, alright. Alright, so my eyes are ready. So, let's see. One of the next steps I do before I actually put eyeshadow on is I do eyebrow pencil. And right now I've been trying out this Maybelline Master Shape eyebrow pencil in soft brown. It's a decent pencil. I have no problems with the pencil itself, except for I have one complaint. You notice how the tip, there we go, how the tip is already all the way down. I mean, you can't sharpen it. It's just a little bit of a tip inside of plastic. You've got this whole long shaft, but there's no way of pushing the tip up or getting more out. So once you run out, you're out. And to me, you're paying, I think, what, $5 or $8 for just that little bit, and that's it. And I've used this up in less than a month. It's kind of ridiculous. So I might have to try something else. And if anyone out there who's watching this do you use eyebrow pencils? What do you like? I've been trying out a couple of different things, and so far I haven't found one that I'm absolutely in love with. I do like the fact that it comes with this little brush, which is kind of cool, but you know, be that as it may, other than that, I'm a little disappointed in it. But might as well go ahead and just kind of put that on, fill in. I do tweeze my eyebrows every couple of days or so, and I think good enough. I don't think I got those evenly, but oh well. I'm not pretending to be an expert here, so, you know. Anyway, so now I'm going to do my eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is the only thing I tend to switch out every couple of days or something. I tend to use a lot of quads and things. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to show you some of the eyeshadows I use the most, and then I'm just going to put one of them on. So one of the ones I use a lot is this Maybelline New York, and it is the number 20 Stylish Smokers in Natural Smokes. So that's, I guess I could open that up so you can kind of see, and you can see I use this one quite a bit. So there's that one. And then another one that's good for brown eyes is purple, so I have a similar one here. I don't use this one as often, but this is number 6Q Stylish Smokes in Amethyst Smokes from Maybelline, and you can see what those look like. It's got kind of a shiny black liner there and everything. Another one of my favorites is the Revlon Custom Eyes, and this one is number 10 in Sweet Innocence. So I use this one on occasion. It's got some pinks and purple in it, so that sometimes looks good with my brown eyes. And then I don't have it here, but I have a similar one like this, but with browns, so like in neutrals or something. And then the last bit of eyeshadow that I tend to use lately a lot are these kind of from L'Oreal Paris, these little pots. And they're not cream, they are shadow, the powder shadow, but I do like them. I have, let's see, this one is in Bronzed Taupe number 890, and I tend to use this one either on the lid or in the crease. And then I have this one, number 891, it's Continuous Cocoa, and I'll use this as a liner because it's a really dark brown. And then there's this one, which is Iced Latte number 888, and I really like this one. Either if I want to go for daytime, I'll use this one on the lid and use this one as the in the crease. And then if I want to go for more elegant for the evening, I'll use this one as a highlighter and use this one on the lid, you know, and then obviously I generally tend to use this as a liner no matter what. However, today, this is the one I tend to use most days, is the Natural Smokes from Maybelline, and so this is the one I'm going to go ahead and apply today. And yes, I know that the brushes I'm going to be using are mostly the wrong brushes for the wrong application, and I don't care. I use the brushes the way I want to and not the way they're supposed to be used. So anyone who, you know, immediately is like, oh, she's using the wrong brush, well, tough cookies, this is the way I do it. Okay, so the first brush I use is a smudge brush. These are all brushes from Sephora, by the way, and it's a smudge brush, and yes, I know it's a smudge brush, but tough cookies. I use this to put the highlighter on, and I kind of like to put the shadows on in order of how light or dark they are, so I put the lightest one on first and then layer the darker ones on top of that. It's just sort of the way the way I learned how to paint is you always put the light on first and then the darker colors on top of it, and that's the kind of the way I do my face. So I'm going to start with, this is the base color here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the base color, and the way I use the base color is I put it in the corner of my eye and then I kind of bring it up here, and then since it's a base, I actually go ahead and put it all over my lid as well. Alright, and then do the other eye. So it's not too light, but it just highlights just enough. Alright, so that's the first one. The next one is also the wrong brush. It's a concealer brush. I know it's a concealer brush. Again, tough cookies. And for that one I'm going to use, this is for the main lid, so I'm going to use this color right here. It's kind of a nice shimmery light brown taupe color. And I like the way this brush, I know like I said it's a concealer brush, but I like the way I can just kind of get the whole lid all up into the crease and everything, and I don't know, I just like the way the makeup applies when I'm using this. So this is one of the reasons I use this brush. I can get it into the corner nicely and just get the whole lid. So, alright, so there's the eyeshadow. Now, the next one is the crease color, and I use a lip brush for the crease. Yes, I know. And then the crease color here is just a darker, a little less shimmery brown. So, and I like the fact that this brush, the reason I use this one is because it fits into my crease nicely. And I feel like I have a little bit more control of where I put the color. Okay. Alright, now I'm not done yet with the crease. Now I actually switch to the actual crease brush to blend that crease color in and kind of reduce the harshness of it. And the only reason I don't use it to begin with is because, well, it's such a big brush. It's so fat and soft and everything. The other one's a little bit more firm. And I feel like this way, the other brush puts the color where I want it to be, and then this brush helps me just kind of blend it out. And I make fewer mistakes because I'm no expert whatsoever. Alright, and then finally, alright, the last one is, you know, I actually use a liner brush for the liner. Shocking. And so this is the liner color down here. And I tend to do the liner just at the bottom lash line, just along the lash line, and only about halfway across, because that's how I like it. There we go. Oh, just halfway across. And I like a nice thin line that's dark. I know a lot of gals, they do the liquid liners and they do these fancy shapes and everything with the liners and stuff, and my hands are not steady enough. I have tried dozens of times to try and do it and build it up and all these different techniques, and I can't do it. And to be perfectly honest, at my age, I don't even know if I need to anyway, so I don't bother with it. Alright, so now that the color is on there, the next thing I need to do is mascara. So now that we're mascara, back to Revlon Photo Ready stuff. And I like this mascara. I like the brush on it. I think it's a really neat brush. And I get fewer clumps and things when I use this mascara. And no, I don't use an eyelash curler. I think my eyelashes are curly enough without it. And if you disagree, well, again, tough cookies. Because I like the way my eyelashes look. They could be a bit fuller. I know, and of course I could use fake lashes to get that fuller effect, but I wear contacts and things, and I really don't want to have to mess with trying to stick something else near my eye. So, there. That's not half bad. Alright, now one of the final things I do is then of course I do blush. I have the L'Oreal True Match blush here, and this is in Precious Peach. And I apologize if none of the colors are coming out correctly. I may be a bit washed out with these lights, I'm not sure, but this bathroom has the best lighting for me to see as I'm applying the makeup. So I do have a blush brush for this. Okay. And then I have somewhat high cheekbones, and so I just kind of follow the cheekbone line here. Alright, and then I try and brush out some of the excess blush onto my hand, and then kind of do a little bit of blending so that it's not too harsh of a line. Alrighty. Before I do my lips, the very final thing that I do after I put my blush on is I'm using this finishing powder, also Revlon Photo Ready. And it's a translucent finisher is what it's called. So you can just kind of see the color there. It's a very light color, and it doesn't tend to give me much color, but it does help with adding a more matte finish to my face. I do have a bit of oil, especially on my nose and chin and forehead, so I like to have something that can absorb that. I know the primer does help with that a lot as well, but just a touch of this helps, and it also helps me blend the blush in a little bit more. Alright, now for my lips, I have two things that I wear frequently. The one I wear the most is cherry chapstick. I'm always wearing cherry chapstick. I'm putting this stuff on 10 times a day. I've been addicted to this since I was 12 years old, and I don't think I'll ever stop. And even when I put colored lipstick on, I tend to use it as a base just to kind of make my lips feel softer. The only time I don't do that is if I use a lip stain. I'll put the stain on first and then I'll put the cherry chapstick on top of it instead. But I don't tend to wear the stains very often. So for most days, let's put on the cherry chapstick, and it actually does give just a teeny weeny bit of color. For most days, this is all I do. And in fact, in most videos that you see me in, this is all I'm wearing. But if I do wear lipstick, I have been using the Revlon lip butters, and this one is Pink Truffle. You can see that there. This is the one I like the most. It's fairly neutral, and I think it looks decent with my skin color, and actually is not dissimilar to my own natural lip color to begin with. So it's very neutral. It's nice and smooth. I still put the cherry chapstick on underneath it, But anyway, so those are the two lip products I use the most. So now take my hair out of the ponytail, and probably needs a little styling still, but other than that, that's my routine that I do pretty much every day. Like I said, I change out the eyeshadow, but otherwise everything else you saw me do, that's basically what I do every day. And this is one of the reasons I'm not a beauty guru, because I would be very boring. And I don't experiment with a lot of stuff, and I can't do fancy stuff with my eyes and stuff, so it's like, screw that. This is me, this is who I am, and this is how I do my my beauty routine every morning. So thanks for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.